the hearing because he had some things he wanted to say to the witness, Thomas Harrigan. Harrigan is second in charge of the agency tasked with enforcing federal drug laws, the DEA. The two men do not see eye to eye.
Mr. Harrigan, you've been in this business now for close to 30 years. 1987, you start with the DEA. How have your views changed on marijuana in those 30 years?
To be quite honest with you, sir, very little.
I was afraid of that.
I see the devastation.
That's enough. The fact that it's changed very little says a lot.
You want me to respond to your question,
No, sir, because we have limited. I know you would. We have limited time. The fact that it's changed very little shows that you haven't kept up with society, you haven't kept up with science, and it's part of the problem.
Science and medical, I do keep up with, sir.
All right. You mentioned in your statements that, quote, it insults our common values. I want you to read me what you said.
Yes, sir. I believe this is the section you're referring to. We also know that marijuana destroys lives and families, undermines our economy, and insults our common values.
What are the common values it insults?
For me, sir, I will tell you. I will tell you if you let me.
We know. You're speaking as clairvoyant voice of America. What are our common values?
I would venture to guess all of law enforcement, just about every single parent out there as well.
Every single parent?
Yes, every single parent. It's based on, again, medical, sir, and scientific fact, not public opinion. Okay, I am not the medical expert, as I said before. Everything that I do is based on my 30-plus years of law enforcement.
Let me stop you for a minute. You said it insults our common values. What is the value it insults?
What is the value it insults?
Yeah, you said this.
Do we have all? I could easily go on and on.
You haven't started yet.
Well, if you continue to interrupt me, I would be happy to address your question.
Answer my question, sir.
Yes. You know what? From a bare minimum, as a parent, as a former educator, as a law enforcement official, for all these years, I have seen the devastation that marijuana has caused not only on individuals, on families, and communities.
And what's our common value, though? You still haven't stated the common value. And the fact is 55% of Americans are in favor of decriminalization or legalization. I got to imagine some of them are parents. I mean, your statement that all parents are against this is ludicrous. What do you think? People that are in favor of decriminalization
I didn't say all.
policy don't procreate?
I said most parents.
You said all.
Would be opposed to this.
And most is wrong, too. 55% of America.
Are they all parents?
I don't think that the polls went into that, but I suspect a whole bunch of them were. It's not.
This went on for more than 5 minutes.
Let's get beyond Richard Nixon.
I called the DEA to see if Thomas Harrigan wanted to come on the radio and have a chance to actually respond, since Cohen barely let him get a word in edgewise. But the DEA spokesperson said Harrigan was busy preparing for another hearing this week, so he couldn't do it. As for Congressman Cohen, one of his biggest beefs with the country's drug policy is the fact that marijuana is classified as a Schedule I drug. That means in the eyes of the federal government, marijuana has a high potential for abuse and no accepted medical use. Heroin, LSD, peyote, these are all Schedule I. Cocaine and meth, on the other hand, are Schedule II, a less serious designation. So under federal law, marijuana is considered the most dangerous type of drug, more dangerous than cocaine and meth. In Cohen's words, that's poppycock. He says marijuana is the least dangerous of these drugs, and most people know it, including, apparently, President Obama. In a New Yorker profile earlier this year, Obama said, quote, "As has been well documented, I smoked pot as a kid, and I view it as a bad habit and a vice, not very different from the cigarettes that I smoked as a young person, up through a big chunk of my adult life. I don't think it is more dangerous than alcohol." In fact, Obama said, quote, "In terms of its impact on the individual consumer, he believes pot is less dangerous than alcohol." Which just shows how confused we are as a country right now when it comes to what we're supposed to be doing about marijuana. You've got the President of the United States saying something like that about pot, while at the same time he's the boss of an entire bureaucracy with thousands of people whose job is to think the opposite.
Brian Reed is one of the producers of our show.
Well, that was a piece of Ira Glass's This American Life. talking about how United States Congress is savaging the DEA. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.